So we need to come up with some big idea question. So I'm going to read it to you.
Yeah, let's hear it.
And let's hear it. So use the social studies inquiry process to investigate Canadian social and or environmental issues from various perspectives. I'm going to jump over to the sixes. Use the social studies inquiry process. So I think that needs to be in our question, something about the inquiry process. And I'm just going to go back here to the grade 6. They're going to investigate some global issue. And it looks like here in the grade 5s, they're going to be focusing on some kind of national issue. I think that's where we can separate the two.
Okay.
The grade 5s look like they need to look at the levels of government responsible for addressing the issues. And then on the grade 6 side, it looks like what is the impact on the global community and the responses to those issues. And I think then we can focus on, in terms of the response, not only the Canadian response, but also organizational responses.
So impact on the global community, and what are we doing as Canadians?
What are we doing as Canadians, as a global community, and how are organizations coming into play here? Because when I look at the framing questions, why is it important for Canada to be involved with countries around the world? I think we've addressed that.
Okay.
What do Canada and Canadians do for other people around the world?
And that ties in nicely right in there.
Excellent. And then for the grade 5s.
So framing question. I'm sorry, I'm just going to write
that
down. Framing question on page 119.
I'm going to say 1 and 5.
So I'm just going to number that off. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. Those are really good ones to refer to. So number 1 and number 5.
And I'll do the same for the grade 5s.
Okay.
And it looks like when and how members of the community come together to make change.
Okay. So that's on page 107?
Yeah.
Okay, so number 1.
Oh, and maybe this one. Why do we need government, and why are there different levels of government? What services should governments be responsible for? I think it needs to tie in how is the government going to help with this issue and what levels of government are acting together. I think we need to support that
tease
issue.
that one out a little more, because I kind of like this one better because it brings in perspectives.
So why is it important to consider the perspectives of all stakeholders when trying to formulate solutions to problems? Okay.
So somehow we have to embed number 3 within. I don't think it needs its own separate question, but within a context.
Okay.
Okay.
So I think we need to take these ideas, because this is a lot to put down here, because I think we need to move to the Post-it notes. Okay. And formulate these questions on a Post-it note for the big, either one question or 2.
So what would be your question? Kind of a capture.
So how, I'm even looking at my cue chart there. How might.
A how might question?
Yeah.
That opens it up. Okay.
Yeah, how might understanding government.
How might. So we'll start off with the grade 5, because you're saying government, right?
Oh, sorry, yes.
So we'll start off with the grade 5 one? Okay. How might understanding government?
And I think we need to be specific. It's government like within Canada.
Okay. How might understanding government within Canada, where would you like to go with that?
Allow me, because we want them to have that personal connection.
I like that.
Okay.
Because that way there's an onus on them that you're a Canadian, you're a citizen, you have a sense of ownership over this.
Absolutely. Allow me to exercise. I'm going to go to this part right here where we talk about responsibility. You didn't write it down, but it was in here really clearly. Rights and responsibilities. Oh, there it is.
Exercise. So my rights and responsibilities.
Yep.
And responsibilities. Okay.
As an active, because that's coming at something about you being active.
Active.
National citizen. So I'm using the framing questions. I didn't want to use it exactly, but I'm using them to help me build a big idea question.
You know what's nice about this? You already have the framework for the grade 6 one.
Absolutely.
Because instead of Canada and as a Canadian citizen,
we'll change it to global.
Or a national citizen, how might the understanding of global issues?
So maybe just write global.
Right in here. Global issues. Right in here. And then I'm going to underline that. So how might understanding global issues allow me to exercise my rights and responsibilities as an active, and then here, global citizen.
Absolutely.
All right, I think we have our first one.
Yeah.
All right, I'm going to get that on a Post-it note, and then we'll stick it under there.
Okay.
I was looking at this, and then I realized they're doing all this inquiry, they're doing all this research, they're going to collaborate throughout this process. So what? Then what? I think we need to get them to take their learning and come up with an action plan, put something into action, and this might give us some ideas of what our culminating task could look like.
Yeah, absolutely.
Okay. So these two would go hand in hand.